Hi guys, today we're going to be doing question 2 of the November 2019 paper 1. So this question is interpenetration and development. So they tell you that they've given you the top view and the incomplete front view of a right regular hexagonal prism that has been shaped to fit over an equilateral triangular prism. The axes of both solids lie in a common vertical plane, and then they tell you that they've given you the auxiliary view. So if you have a look here, this is what they've given you. Now, as we know, because this is a civil paper, it will always be in first orthographic projection. So obviously this would be your front view, this would be your top view, and then this is obviously your auxiliary view. And obviously they told you that the front view was incomplete. So if you have a look here, we need to fill in the hexagon. So it says draw to scale 1 to 1 the following views of the two solids. So obviously the hexagon and the triangle, and they say the given top view. So we're going to have to, because the top view is already finished for us, there's nothing we need to do, we just need to draw that. And this is also like easy marks. So if this is like something you really struggle with, then just draw what they've given you, because you do get a couple of marks for that. And obviously do attempt it, but if you really struggle and you're one of those kids who just can't visualize things, I know there are people like that, then just draw this, don't leave it out, try to get yourself some marks. Then they tell you that they want the right view. So obviously, because this is first orthographic, you're going to have your front view, your top view, and your left view, and then obviously your right view. So this is obviously your 45 degrees and your 45 degrees. So they've given you the front, the top. That means you'll have to draw your right view. So on your page, your right view will be here, and then you'll have your front and your top. Okay. Then they say the complete front view, clearly showing the curve of interpenetration. So obviously this is the front view. The curve of interpenetration means how the hexagon fits on the triangle. And the development of the surface of the hexagonal prism make edge A the seam. So this is the hexagon, this is the seam, and basically when you unfold it, your seam is going to have to be from A. And then it says planning is essential. So obviously with the views, like I just showed you, your ride's going to be here. That means your front and your top will be here. And then obviously you'll have space for your development. And then it says show all hidden detail and fold lines and show all construction. So what we're going to do really quickly is just separate our page into 4 lines. So one vertical line, well, not 4 lines, but 4 blocks, and a horizontal line. So like that. And then you're obviously going to do your 2020 measurement thing. So where you measure 20 centimeters and then 20 centimeters, just so that when you do your development, everything will be the right size and so on. So I'm going to do that quickly, and then I'll show you guys what I mean. Okay, like this over here. So obviously you're going to draw your front view here and your top view here. This space is just to obviously make a space between the two. Okay, here it says you can have a space of 10. So we can just take out that extra line. We'll work with a space of 10. That's fine. So I'm going to actually do that quickly. And then I'm going to start drawing in the top view. Okay, so I've got on the top view. I'm just going to show you how to get this hexagon, because obviously it's not at a, it's not straight on the line, it's at a bit of an angle. So first thing that I did was they're giving you a side measurement here of 36 millimeters. So you're going to take your compass and you're going to measure 36 millimeters. You're going to section the square. And in the middle, you're just going to put your compass, and then you're going to draw a circle around it to get your circle shape. And then they tell you that this is 45 degrees, which obviously means that if you take your 45-degree triangle like this, and you take your 30-degree set square, and you just do this, you'll see that it makes like it sections through the point there and it makes an angle. So that's basically what you're going to do to get this line over here. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take your compass, and on that circle you're going to plot your points all around the circle, and then you're just going to darken those lines, and that is how you're going to get your shape. So now we're going to move on to the front view, drawing that down, and I'm going to draw the auxiliary view either over this over here because we'll still be able to see what we're going to do, but for now I'm just going to move on to the front view. Okay, so as you can see, I've lightly drawn the auxiliary view. The front view, I drew the outline shapes, the 75 millimeters up, and then obviously you just take the measurements from the side up to get your width. I haven't done this yet though because we need to get the measurement here, and the way to do that will be through our right view. So obviously, because they told us the measurement shows 10 millimeters, I did the 10 millimeter Cartesian plane, and I just got my 45-degree line going down like this. So I think what we're going to do quickly, just to help when we do our right view, is to label these points. So these points can be A, B, C, and D. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this just helps. Okay, this will be your top point. This just helps to like visualize it. So this is your middle point, not your top point. You don't actually need to label that point. We don't need it. But yeah, so that's just to get a little bit of help and guidance on like the shape. So because we're looking from the right, it's going to be from this side over here. So you're going to just have to remember that when, oh well, let me just do a little arrow so that you know which lines to darken, whatever. But we're just going to start by taking, because obviously this is a triangle, the lines of the triangle. So it'll be your AB line. I suppose we can label these as well. So we'll just label it E and F. So you're going to take your EF line, and then you're going to take your DC line. You're going to bring them to your 45-degree line, and then you're going to bring them vertically upwards so that we can start getting our right shape. Okay, and as you can see, I've brought those lines up. And then I just want to show you something. So the reason why we have the auxiliary view is to get the height, because like I said, we don't have the height for this. So I could have gotten it before, but anyways, it's whatever, the drawing's going to have the same. So you just put a line through your triangle over here, you get the measurement, you can use your compass for that, and obviously because this is the right view, the height will be the same as your auxiliary view, and you're just going to make a point over there, and then you're going to create your triangle, and you can make it a solid line because you know from the side, because obviously it's a triangle facing upwards, the hexagon goes over it, so you'll definitely see, because as you can see these solid lines, the triangle on the side. So we're just going to make those solid. Okay, and once you've got your triangle, you can take your measurement from the top over here, and you can just bring it over to the triangle, and then, okay, so mine's a little bit off, I'll fix that quickly. And then you can take your triangle line and you can just draw it like that over there. Okay, so now you have your measurements for this over here, so we can go ahead and do the lines for that so long, because obviously we know if it's the front view, we'll be looking from this side over here, and we'll obviously see 0.6, 0.5, and 0.4. We'll see 0.3 as well, and then 2 and 1 we'll draw as these lines over here, which are the hidden lines because we won't see them, but they are there. Okay, we got this view over here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try get, well, we're not going to try, we're going to get the hexagon on top of our triangle. So to do that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the outside points of the hexagon. So obviously, because I told you we're looking from this side, from the right side, we're going to see this as the point that sticks out the most, and this is the point that sticks out the most. So that means that your point 1 and 6 will be hidden, because if you look at it from this side, you'll see the points that stick out, and then you'll obviously see 3 and 4. So what we're just going to do is we're going to take these lines, we're going to bring them to the 45-degree line, and you're going to do that with your number 2 line as well. For now, we're going to work with those lines just for now, and then we'll move on to the other lines. Okay, once we've brought those lines, it should look like this. I've made the top solid as well, because obviously we know the top is solid. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring across the other lines. So we can start bringing, for instance, line 4 over here. In fact, we can actually bring across all of the rest of the lines that we're going to need. So line 4, line 6, okay, and the rest of them, and I'm just going to bring them up to save time and whatever. Okay, once you've brought the lines up, it should look like this. So now the reason why I say the labeling helps is because now we know that this is line 1, line 3, line 6, and line 4. So this just helps you, like, because when there's a bit of a, like, when there's quite a bit of lines, it can get a bit confusing. So now you know which lines we're working with. So obviously, like I said, we know that 3 and 4 are going to be solid lines. So you look for your 3, which is over here, and you look for your 4, and you're going to make these lines solid up to the triangle, because like I said, the triangle doesn't get affected. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap. So that means that the shape is just in the middle of the triangle, so nothing will go over the front. And then your lines 6 and 1 will obviously be your hidden lines, so you're going to make dash lines at the back there, and then that will be this view done. And obviously, because they want the curve of interpenetration for the front view, that's why we need this view, so we're going to go into that next. Okay, your right view will look like this, and then we're going to move on to this view. So the first thing that we're going to do is bring all of these lines down just as light construction lines. And once again, the labeling is going to come into play again over here. So I just want to label these lines here that I forgot to label, because they're very important. They're going to help us with the front view. So I'm just going to bring down all of these lines, and then we're going to get on with the front view. Okay, so once you brought those lines down, we're going to label them. So this line is obviously 6, then we have 1, that looks like a 0. Then we have 5, 2, 4, and 3. So once again, like I said, these just help us once again when we're doing our views. So we have 3, 4, 5, and 6 that we know we'll definitely see if we're looking from the front view. They'll be our solid lines. So what we're going to do, because we know we're going to see 6, 5, 4, and 3 for sure. So we're going to find line 6. If you have a look at line 6, you will see that it only goes up to this point over here. So on line 6, which is over here, you're going to draw a line like that, just to show that that's where line 6 ends on the triangle. Then for line 5 is over here. You're going to bring that point across. You're going to put it on your line 5, like that over there. Then you're going to have your line 4, which is over here, and you're just going to stick that on your line 4, and then obviously your line 3, which is over here. So you're going to stick that over here. Now, the reason why we're doing the ones we can see first, obviously, is because we can make them solid immediately. They will connect to each other, and we're just going to go ahead and make them solid. And these lines you can actually make darker, because obviously you'll be looking at them and you'll see the edges. Okay, and so far your view should look like this. Now, like I said, because we're not going to see 1 and 2, they're going to be our hidden lines. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take the points from 1 and 2 across. So this over here is our 2 lines. So we're just going to stick that over there. And then with our number 1, I know it's this line over here. So that's what we're going to do there. And then we can dash this line all the way down to these points. But that doesn't mean that we're finished, because it it's a hexagon. These points still connect to each other. So there's going to be a dashed line connecting 1 and 2 together. And then obviously a dashed line connecting 2 and 3 together. And then we're going to have a dashed line connecting 1 and 6. But because there is a break, so like where it meets the tip of the triangle, we're going to have to do like a bit of a break in our hidden lines. So what I'm first going to do is just draw these lines dashed, connect these points, and then I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so like that. Now I've also realized that I have made a mistake. It's not a huge one. It's really easy to fix. It was just something I missed, like I just didn't even pay attention to. But obviously if we know we're going to see 3, but it's also behind this solid line here. So you're going to take up the length of this solid line. So we got the 3 line here is right, but this is going to be extended here, and then your 3 line is going to go down like that, and then the point will reach differently. These lines are just going to have to erase. We'll just redraw it. But it's not the end of the world. It's just a small little mistake, and I am so sorry for it. But everyone makes mistakes. Okay, like I said, I'm very sorry for that. But anyways, we're going to just move on. So still, once again, where we had our original 3 line, you're going to make that a dash line, and you're going to make a dash line to this point here because it's going over the triangle, so it's going to have that like triangular shape. And then it's going to have a dash line from your number 2 to your number 3, like we said. And then obviously the same over here, except we're going to do a little something different for this point over here as well. So let's just start with this one so I can show you what I mean, because I'm pretty sure like I'm talking Greek to you guys. So let's just do that. Okay, so just to show you that this is what I mean. So obviously, because we know this point goes over the triangle, so you know, like we said here, number 3 is over here. So there's obviously going to be this line here, is this dash line here. And like I said, I'm sorry I didn't pick it up earlier. And then obviously this line here will be dashed from where you cannot see it behind the triangle. And then like I said, 3 connects to 2. Now with this one as well, point number 6 is over here. Obviously we cannot see it properly on this view here, but we're going to do essentially the same thing what we did with over here. We're going to take this point over here, and we're just going to stick it on this line. Just make the little mark over here, and then we're going to connect number 1 to number 6 closely. Before we get to number 6, we're going to have to go through this line, so it's going to be a dash line up there and then a dash line to number 6, and then that will be our front view finished. Okay, and what I mean is this. Now that we're done with this over here, we're going to have to do our development of the shape over here, of our hexagon, and we're going to do that now. So firstly, I just want to erase these lines over here, and then I'm going to draw a straight horizontal line down so that we can do our development. Okay, so it looks pretty much the same. I just want to show you that I've drawn a long vertical line down here, just a little bit off, like 2 millimeters off of this drawing here, but it's because we're going to need this space over here. You do have space to move it just a little bit more off, but I just did mine very close, and that's just the way it's going to be. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start off by doing a vertical line at the bottom of this horizontal line. Then we're going to take our compass and we're going to measure 36, because we're going to get like all of these points. So let me just get 36 quickly. Okay, so I've got our measurement of 36. Obviously now, because a hexagon has 6 sides, you're going to make 6 sides on your vertical lines. So you're just going to take your compass. So like this over here is 1 side. Then you're going to do a second one. And obviously right up until you get 6 sides. And then you can draw those lines up. Obviously construction lines, because they're not going to be all the same size. Okay, and as you can see, we've got our 6 sides. Now, they told us in our instructions that we need to make each A be the seam. So A is our number 3 on the drawing here, which means basically the side where we cut this shape is number 3. So this means that this will be number 3 and that your last line over here will be number 3. Like I said, labeling is like really, it's important. You don't have to do it, but it does help. And then what we're going to do is, because we unfolded from 3, we're going to label the rest of our things. So let me just do this off camera quickly. Okay, so we've got our labeling. So I went the labeling from 3 and then 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2. So just to show you like how I got labeling like that. Obviously, like I said, it's like where we cut the shape. So just to visualize it, this is our shape. Number 3 is where the paper opens. But when you open it, it will unfold like that. So obviously, if your points 5 and 4 on like this side over here, when you open it, it will unfold like that, if that makes sense, just to like visualize it a little bit. So obviously, once again, like I said, labeling is super helpful. And then you get your lines over here. So these are your true lengths, and these are the lengths we're going to use to develop the shape. So because this top here is flat and these are flat as well, it's going to be very helpful. So we're going to work using these points. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just take the measurements of each of these points, and you're just going to take the the points, and you're just going to put them all on this line, and then we're going to bring them vertically upwards. And then, well, I'll do it to show you what I mean, and then we will develop the shape. Okay, and if you have a look here, you'll see that there's only 3 vertical lines going up, and you're probably thinking why. So it's because these lines are all equals to each other. Okay, this one, as you can see, mine's a little bit off. It's because I didn't take one of these lines properly. It doesn't matter though, because your drawing should actually still be this. Well, your drawing should be right, and the shape's going to be the same regardless. So you got the concept, and that's all that matters. But we're going to do it properly for our development. So I've just gone ahead and like fixed that over here for you. Okay, so the first thing, obviously, they tell us A is the seam. So our A in this scenario here is 3. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so obviously 3, this is line 3 here. So you're going to just do a point, because 3 will be with 3, and then it's the same kind of concept. 4 will be with line 4. 5 will be with line 5. And you're just going to make dots. So 6 will be line 6. And so on right till the end. Okay, once you have all your dots, you're just going to connect them. So I'm going to do that quickly, and then you're going to make this horizontal line or vertical line solid, and then you're going to make the edge solid. Okay, and this over here will then be your development, and that is the drawing done. Excuse my small mistakes, but I do hope that it helped you just to even understand what to do. Maybe you already knew what to do and you just wanted to revise. Whichever the case may be, I hope it helped. And yeah.